As
they want.
far as far as women, talking to women and advice for women, and I know we kind of covered this, but what would be your advice as far as pap smears and detecting cervical cancer for women out there that are listening that are kind of like, well, what's the next step? What would you say?
Well, if you're like, if you're under, I think if you're under 50, if you're under 50, you should go and have your annual pap. You should go see your doctor, your gynecologist annually, get your pap smears. And then depending upon your age, when you go in, you should also ask to have a cervical exam so that they could do it. They could do the testing. Um, Now, over 50, I think, like you don't have to go like every year. If you've had a normal pap, you only have
Okay.
to go every 3 years. But women should be aware of their bodies. They should notice, if you have something that's strange, then you should question it.
Yeah.
Don't wait and try it. Don't do a Google search. Don't do a Google search and try to self-diagnose yourself.
Yeah.
um and like, because with my daughter, fibroids is something that's very prominent in Black women.
Okay.
So this was something that she because this is something that she dealt with, and she was with her doctor, but because of the severity of the pains that she was having, and I guess they thought the placement, that's why they thought that surgery would be the best option. But
Got it.
women, we tend to get bogged down with our families and caring for everyone else, that we tend not to care for ourselves.
Yeah, you're right.
And that's one of the things, I mean, pap smears have gotten better over the years, but still, I mean, it's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And it's uncomfortable just because of who, just because of
Yeah.
the way but whatever. But this is something that we have to do. We have to be mindful of our bodies, and how, and one of the things, like cervical, it's like with cervical cancer, it has a gap, I think, like between the ages of 25 to like 40. Women are high, they have a high chance of getting cervical cancer.
Oh,
Then
okay.
65 and over.
Oh, okay.
So,
Wow.
for years, there's that gap in there where, you're not in that high risk group.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
And I want to reiterate something that you said too, as far as knowing your body. And just from my personal experience, which I'm sure possibly you could relate, is a lot of times as we're getting older, we assume that things are happening to us because of our age. So I kind of wanted to reiterate that, like, there's going to be changes that happen because you're aging, but don't assume it's because you're aging. If there's like my breasts, for instance, like I went my whole life, pregnancy, everything, with just squishy breasts. And then all of a sudden, probably in my 30s, 32, I had my son when I was 21, I started getting these lumps, crazy lumps in my breasts.
mhm.
And oh, so you're unaware of this. So I have figured it was age, like just part of age, you start to get lumps in your breasts. I went probably a year, talked to my mom about it, and she's like, "You have to go in for a mammogram." Like, go in for a mammogram. Actually, I was 28. I was
Mm.
28 when this happened. And so I went in, and the doctor was like, usually you don't start getting mammograms until your 30s, but we'll do it. So I was early, and found out that I have cyst breasts. So some women, like 50% of women, have cysts, like large balls or cysts in their boobies. And that's just part of it. They just like appear, and it's just part of it. And we have to get mammograms instead of every year, we have to get them every 6 years.
Wow.
So in my so in my case, um, it was because of age, but it could have been not because of age. I could have
Mm.
had breast cancer.
Right, right.
So don't assume that just because maybe discharge or whatever from your down under parts is changing is because of age. Go get it checked out because maybe it isn't.
You
Maybe
know,
it's something else.
and to for you to talk about cysts in the breast, my prayer group, I think it was just Monday. It was either Monday or I think it was just this week or maybe Friday. Anyway, one of the ladies on the prayer group said her niece has cysts in her breast
Yeah.
and they keep reoccurring.
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, that's amazing that, because and I really never heard of cysts in the breast until she mentioned it. I mean, I know you check for the lumps and whatever and this, that, but I never realized that that occurred.
Yeah.
So
And
yeah,
there's a nervousness because I'm like, what if I have breast cancer? Like, I don't even want to know if I have breast cancer. Like, I don't want to know. That's scary. But then
right.
it's like, which would you rather? Would you rather not know and then end up
Too late.
passing? Yes.
Right,
Or
right,
would you rather just know and then figure it out? So it's like, it's really a stressful thing for the mind. But between, you and I talking and your story, it's best to just figure it out.
right.
Sooner the better.
And with HPV again, because people think that it's just a female thing, a girl thing, I would when I would do health fairs or whatever, I would take my grandson with me sometimes and allow parents to talk to him so that they could so that he could tell them that his experience, and whether or not shot hurt, if he had any side effects, because they were not aware that no, this is for boys too. They need because
Ah.
and the boys, the males are really the carriers.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they're the carriers of the virus, and this is how it's transmitted. So I remember having this attending this health event, and it was held in a church, and the conversation that I had with this young lady, or she was like, oh, my daughter's going to remain a virgin, I'm not going to get the vaccine, yada yada yada. And I told her, I said, okay, that's all fair and well, that's good
Yeah.
that I said, but you don't know whomever her husband is, you don't know his past,
Yeah.
you don't know who he's been with, so why not protect her now?
Absolutely.
People tend to think, oh no, not me, because I'm going to stay celibate, I'm going to do this, but you don't know that partner that you meet, you don't know their history. So and this is why
Absolutely.
this is why they suggest having the children vaccinated at a young age, because this helps to build up their immunity
Yeah.
before they cross over into being sexually active. And it's proof that it saves lives.
Yeah.
It saves you from these various cancers, because there's those strands out there that are cancer causing.
Yeah.
So, and I'm like, why wouldn't you want to, because once your child gets 18 or whatever, they're making their own decisions. You can no longer take them to the doctor and say, okay, you got to get this vaccine, you got to get this, you got to get that. So why not take control and do what you can now to hopefully save your child's life for the future?
Absolutely. I agree with that.
So that was, and that's what I carry. I tell parents, it's not about what is going on right now, it's about what may happen in the future.
Exactly. Exactly. And as far as staying a virgin, you can't count on your child telling you whether or not they're a virgin or
Right,
not.
right.
Sorry.
That's true. That's that, and it's fact. So this is why I'm saying, why, especially, when like, when they're still young, you can make choices for them.
Yeah. I totally agree.
And if this vaccine was out there when my child was a teenager, when she was 13, she would have had it without a doubt.
There you go.
You
Yep.
know, because like you said, when out of sight, out of mind. I don't know what you're doing when you're not with me.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. And that's
You
something
know.
that you can't, yeah. Oh, 100%.